Coming to you live from the Shaker Launch House Tech Fest at the Great Lakes Science Center. And now I'm with a very interesting, very dynamic person who's been on all sides of the entrepreneurship world, both as a CEO of a company and now as a professor. I'm here with Bruce Terry. Thank you for speaking with us, Bruce. I appreciate it.
My pleasure, Jason.
So Bruce, you have had a wide array of experiences from being CEO of Mayfran to now you are a professor at Case Western Reserve University in the STEP program, the Science and Technology Entrepreneurship Program.
That's correct.
How did your experiences as CEO lend to what you're doing currently, teaching?
Well, that's a...
there's no softballs here.
Yeah, that's a great question. So I guess having been through the wars as a CEO for 20 years, it's let me see just about every side of business that you can imagine, and particularly international. But there are some similarities between being an entrepreneur and sort of being in the corporate world, depending on the size of the company. So try to meld those things. But it's really been kind of a real education to come down in the startup world.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, tell me a little bit about the STEP program and what it is that you teach and that you actually do.
So the STEP program stands for Science, Technology, Entrepreneurship Program. It's a master's degree for undergraduate physics, chemistry, or biotech majors.
Okay.
And these students all think that they want to be entrepreneurs and start their own company, or more specifically, probably work for one. Mm-hmm. So that's the goal.
And what is it that they learn? I mean, for example...
Well, it's kind of a neither fish nor fowl degree, so they advance their undergraduate science into a master's level, and then they take classes in innovation, feasibility analysis, venture creation, and then there are specific entrepreneur classes for each of their majors.
Okay.
Then they have to do an internship with a startup and write a master's thesis, which is a business plan and the science at the same time.
Wow. Now you've been doing this for how many years have you been at
This
Case?
would be my fourth class coming up at the end of August.
And since then, have there been any success stories, people that you've been extremely proud of that you would point to who've come through this program?
Well, I think there have. It's a pretty small program. We average about 10 to 12 students a year.
Wow.
I think our greatest metric is in the last 5 years, our students have been instrumental and nearly single-handedly responsible for raising $32 million in add-on investment money to the companies they're working for.
Wow.
So that's a pretty phenomenal number.
Absolutely. Now, we were speaking before about the difference between an idea and an invention. Let's talk a little bit about that.
So, I think everybody in the world has sat in a bar and said, I had that idea, and the problem is you didn't act on it. So, there's a tremendous difference between an idea, an invention, and an innovation that really transforms people's lives in some way. That sounds awfully lofty.
Right.
But if you don't have something that's a game changer, you're not going to be in a very lively business.
Right.
So ideas are awfully cheap, and most people do nothing with them.
Would you think it's safe to say the difference between an idea and an invention is an idea is just that, it's just an idea, but an invention is actually an action. This is, I'm actually taking the idea to the next level and making something happen.
So an invention really takes an idea and puts it on paper and enables someone who read that to understand what it is, and they could actually go out and make one.
Yeah.
However, that's protected. Nevertheless, 90% of the inventions that lie in the patent office are useless. They've never made anybody any money. So clearly they weren't inventions.
Right.
Or I mean, innovations.
Yeah.
So
where would this lie? in second grade, I came up with the idea and invention, I made it in class, of ketchup. Ketchup and mustard in the same bottle. How about that? You like it, don't steal it. And you squeeze it and it would come out. Now that's somewhere probably in between idea and invention. Not quite innovation. It hasn't made me $1.
That was a pretty tremendous idea, Jason.
That was just in second grade, thank you. So you can only imagine where my train of thought is now.
So were they in separate compartments and only mixed until they came out?
You got it, you got it. Stay tuned, next year's TechFest.
That's an invention,
We're launching it. Catch it, it's coming soon. Yes, I like it. All right, thank you so much for speaking with me.
My
Appreciate it.